Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Vegas Golden Knights versus the Seattle Kraken. Puck drop is going to be here in just a couple minutes. I hope everyone is having a fantastic Tuesday, and hopefully the Seattle Kraken can get this dub. We are obviously jockeying for position, and this is one of the best matchups for the Kraken as far as competitiveness. I think this is my favorite team to play other than the Colorado Avalanche, just because I know when we play Colorado and when we play Vegas, they're going to give us everything that they got, and had to flip the thumb. And, I started to go with some different designs, and I still have my normal look, which would have been something maybe like this. And I decided, hey, instead of using the NHL rink behind, let's go with a little bigger logos with the Seattle backdrop with the players. And I think it turned out pretty good. And I got a little bit of inspiration from yesterday's when we ended up doing the NFL. As you can see, we got the nice Hawaiian background, obviously with the Eagles and Falcons contributing to their new studs on their team. And I said, you know what? Let's use this creativity and see if we can make something out of the NHL and see if we can come up with a thumb there. And I think it turned out pretty good. This is going to be a good one here tonight. Let's go, baby. Vegas Golden Knights, Captain Jack Eichel, and the Seattle Kraken, Philip Grubauer. And we got Jordan Eberle, 1,000th career game. It is all about Ebbs today. We are excited. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, and they will do the ceremony on Thursday, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday, against the Caps. That'll be the official 1,000th game, but this is the 1,000th game for him playing on the ice, but they'll do the celebration in the next game at home. Let's go, baby. Jordan, I see you, baby. Let's go. And hopefully we can get a dub for Jordan. Daniel in the building, what's good? Candace in the building, what's good? Megan in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's go. I'm ready. And I'm always going to kind of experiment, with usually, you'll tell with the font and the way that we use with the kind of the highlighted writing. But I'm going to definitely, try to spice things up and, obviously a more colorful background will catch more eyes. And again, we'll still do a kind of a traditional look, on, a certain amount of thumbs, something like this, where you got the background. But it's kind of cool to be able to, go out of the comfort zone and kind of see what it looks like if you end up going a little bit bigger with the logos or as big as they can get. And then you just got to be able to figure out positioning of your images with your NHL hockey studs and where you decide to put them and how big you're going to make the individual picture. So definitely had to play around with this one a little bit, but I think it turned out pretty damn good. And I am here for Jordan Eberle, 1,000th career game. We need to get a dub for the Kraken. And make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Very, very important. It's the biggest battle that you're going to go through on a daily basis. Make sure you're checking off the boxes to make sure you can win the day. Let's go, baby. Let's get this win for Jordan, baby. Let's go. I'm ready. Let's get it. And thank you, Matt and Sarah, for helping out on the Twitter/X side. And then anything on the NFL side that you guys want to go over. I mean, plenty of moves, plenty of signings, plenty of surprise signings, I think, too, because a lot of times when you get into the NFL free agents frenzy, right, you assume that a lot of these guys are going to end up going to the opposite conference, or, they're going to find another home, but maybe in the conference, but far away. And then you don't necessarily assume that someone is going to end up joining the rival. But if they give up on you, the NFL is a business. And if Aaron Jones, decided, he was going to take a pay cut, they could have had him and Josh Jacobs. They decided not to do that. Jacobs is the guy. The two starters prior to, this upcoming season are both gone. And then Aaron Jones now is a Minnesota Viking. So, yeah, you can end up picking up backup quarterbacks as you're seeing, news about, Sam Darnold and Mac Jones and a lot of these other signings. So anytime if you end up seeing that, if they already have a franchise quarterback, then that's the guy that they're just, having as a backup just in case there's an injury. And then in Minnesota's case, it gives you a pretty tall tale sign that the writing is on the wall, that they're more than likely going to be drafting a quarterback, maybe like a Bo Nix or Michael Penix Jr. or J.J. McCarthy for the Minnesota Vikings. So a lot of people moving to new teams. Derrick Henry going with Lamar, which is very, very exciting. I felt that Derrick Henry would be a good fit there or on the Cowboys, but of course you could get further with Lamar. So now the physicality and the identity of the team, now you got Lamar Action Jackson, right? Now you got King Henry. Even though he's a little bit older, we know that he can get it done. Then you got Mark Andrews to be able to give you a top 5 presence at tight end if he can stay healthy, and then a few wide receivers that you can go to. So it'll give them a better chance to compete with the Chiefs or possibly beat them now by having a Derrick Henry. But again, Derrick Henry's going to have to stay healthy. And then obviously Joe Mixon, obviously going to his. We're going to have to take a couple days and just reflect and look at all the new destinations and kind of get used to where these new guys are going to be playing. But I feel that we have a lot of shifting every year, but I feel that maybe this year there's a little bit more superstar movement than we're used to, especially at the running back position. So definitely excited to see how things shake out. There's still a lot of big names available. A lot of fans are still waiting, for their teams to sign their favorite guys. And we still have the NFL draft. Remember that. So if you're not as active in free agency, don't worry. As long as you have a good amount of draft picks, you can still end up getting, your future star of the making in that draft. So still a lot of good quality pieces to be signed. But again, a few surprising kind of head scratchers, where teams are letting guys go and they are pissed, so they're going to the division rival so that way they can get payback 2 times a year. And I get it, especially if you feel a little bit slighted and you feel like I did everything in my book. Maybe even the guys were willing to take less money. And what a better way to get back at your former team and your former coaches and owner is to go within the division, whether that team offered you more money or less money. But sometimes getting payback, is a little bit more sweeter than a couple, extra $1 million, depending on where you're sitting in the bank account. Let's go, baby. I saw that. I know the Kenny Moore thing that you were hoping. I know a lot of people don't know who that is, but anytime you end up have significant role players, they may not be superstars like an AR, a superstar in the making, or some of the other pieces that you have. But you need guys like Kenny Moore to be able to be successful, guys that are going to be good locker room leaders, and, as many mid-level guys or guys that are maybe considered mid-level, but they play like a star, but they're still kind of known as just being like a starter or a role player. Never count out those type of guys, because a lot of those guys can help you end up getting those big victories when you really, really need it. So Vegas Golden Knights, Seattle Kraken, let's go. Yeah, Deontay Johnson to the Panthers. I don't think Deontay Johnson is like a top 5 or top 10 receiver. He's definitely, I would say, top 25, but most of the time, if he gets targets, probably top 20, 22. If I had to go between like him and Cortland Sutton, I'm going to be going Cortland Sutton. But again, Bryce Young, it gives them another person to throw the football to. Adam Thielen was a little bit older, obviously with the age, but still got it done for a majority of the year. So it gives them another piece. They need to focus more on that offensive line and especially the defense, since they're losing Spider Burns, Jeremy Chin. So it's like pretty much you got nobody on defense, and you got to build the O-line, and we still need more running backs, wide receivers, a lot of depth there, but at least Deontay Johnson is something. It's still a top 25, top 30 receiver, so at least it gives him something else to look forward to. Drew Lock, going to the Giants from Seattle, I know that hurts, a little bit, for the Seahawk perspective, but think of this, with that happening and not getting Patrick Queen when he ended up going to the Steelers, which was a little odd for me, then that might mean that depending on the price and what they're going to be looking at, maybe you guys will be looking at a Michael Penix Jr., in the draft to back up Geno, or maybe you end up trading for Justin Fields, depending on what type of compensation that you can get, and then Fields could be the backup, to Geno, and then if something happens with Geno with a slight injury like an ankle for like a couple weeks, then and you feel comfortable where you got a guy that can start and is probably the only guy in the NFL that has played for a couple years. And even though we don't think he's a superstar, he's the one that probably has the highest potential that hasn't hit his potential yet. Everyone else that's been in the league for 2, 3, or 4 years, we know what they are. We know that they either panned out, Trevor Lawrence, or that they didn't. Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, or a guy like Trey Lance that hasn't got a shot yet. But with Justin Fields, we've seen some good and we've seen some bad. But if he ends up going to a team that has a good coach, a good weapons around him, good defense, good O-line, good structure, that he could possibly, do a little bit more than what we've seen from him in the Chicago Bears. All right, here we go. Puck drop, baby. Let's go, Kraken. Defend the deep, release the Kraken. This is going to be tough. This is my favorite matchup of the year, the Kraken versus the Vegas Golden Knights. My number 2 favorite would be Seattle Kraken versus the Colorado Avalanche, because I understand what it's going to take to be able to beat these 2 elite teams. It's not going to be easy, regardless if we're at home or on the road, but Ebbs is playing his 1,000th career game, so it gives us extra incentive to kind of get this dub for Jordan Eberle. Let's go, baby. Brand new photo there. Whoop! Let's go. Let's go, baby. I am ready. I will. I'll get you the hack tie sighting 100%. And then if you guys want to put in the Sarah, the Joe Mixon, and some of the other notable names, if you want to be able to type those in so people can see that they're watching if they end up coming over from Twitter/X, or if you're in the room. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people in the chat. Love you and appreciate you. But even though I'm not a Seahawks fan, I felt a little sorry, for you and Reflect and a few of the others that were really banking on Patrick Queen. But it shows you, just because that you want something and it feels like it could happen, sometimes you get blindsided and they end up signing with a team that you had no idea that was in the running, or wasn't one of the top options that was reported, based off the news anchor reporters / NFL insiders. So, sometimes you do get a little bit of blindsidedness there. But again, there's still a few names that are available. And, maybe this could be a blessing in disguise, especially with Drew Lock leaving. You're going to have to look for a replacement for Geno at some point, just like I'm going to have to with Baker Mayfield in a couple years. But if you guys can score, Michael Penix Jr., and he can sit behind Geno, or if you end up getting Justin Fields, but you're not giving up a lot to get him, that's a pretty good situation for Geno and Justin Fields to be able to succeed, even though I know Justin Fields wants to start for an NFL team. He doesn't want to go from starter to being a bench guy. But sometimes, if you haven't been able to fully prove yourself in the first 2 to 4 years, sometimes you got to be a backup, wait for your time for like an injury to happen or whatever, bad play, and then you get a chance to shine, and then you got to run with it and then go from there. So, a couple of scenarios that maybe, with a lot of the Seahawks fans in the Pacific Northwest, where we were thinking Michael Penix Jr. to Minnesota, Bo Nix to Denver. Now with Drew Lock leaving and, and not being able to get Patrick Queen, obviously a backup quarterback isn't going to be as high of a priority as necessarily offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, secondary right this minute, and a tight end at some point. But it makes you wonder, depending on who's sitting there, you might be able to get a few steals. And I'm still looking for McDonald to build a little baby Ravens for Seattle, and that would be exciting. Because the closer you guys can get to being Baltimore in the NFC, the closer you're going to be able to get to the NFC Championship game and win the West over the Rams and Niners, and that's the ultimate goal. So, no tie sighting just yet. 4 shots on goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, 0 for the Kraken so far. But I think, possibilities are a little bit more open now. Scenarios that we thought, there's no way Justin Fields, Michael Penix Jr. could get drafted by the hometown team because they have so many other needs. And then all of a sudden you think you're going to be spending money on Patrick Queen or this guy. They sign somewhere else. And then you're like, well, all right, now we got to reevaluate. And then you're obviously got your big names on the draft board. And, there's always going to be steals and no-name guys that people have never heard of that blossom into superstars or stars or starters. So, we'll see how it ends up panning out. But definitely a lot of surprises in this free agency frenzy this year. There's always surprises, but this year I feel a little bit more than normal. Let's go, baby. Yeah, I don't think anybody would be happy getting McCarthy. I mean, even if McCarthy ended up being the backup, it has to be the right type of team. I mean, he's got good size, but as far as can you run the offense and, are you able to scramble out of the pocket if pressure comes? And he's kind of a taller quarterback, so it feels like he might be the one that is least likely to scramble for yards successfully, out of all the quarterbacks. Not saying that he can, but as far as all the quarterbacks that I have seen, that's the one that I trust the least. Now, could he end up being a starter in the NFL? It's possible, but when I see him, I see more backup quarterback. Honestly, I don't really see starter in any means. I think he has some of the tools, but he would have to go to the perfect situation to shine. Kind of like, oh, the Niners need a quarterback, and instead of Brock Purdy, J.J. McCarthy. And you're like, well, I don't know if he would really work. But since they have such a great offensive line and defense and supporting cast and a good play caller, sometimes you can get put into the perfect situation and then you can shine. But you put J.J. McCarthy on any team but the Niners, then he might be dog shit. I mean, we have to kind of wait and see how it all plays out. So I know if Tampa was going to be looking, I would be pissed if we drafted him. So not saying that he's terrible, but just not for me. Oh, we got a penalty. Oh, the draft. And I think it might be a blessing in disguise because if you're looking at name recognition as far as filling that gap, I'm not sure how many other guys I can look at my list right now to see, and I do have it here to see. Let me refresh it because some of these guys obviously got the tracker has to be updated. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot. Let me look. I gotta wait for all of the logos and I can kind of go over the names of what's available. All right, so we got Calvin Ridley, Kendall Fuller at corner, who's kind of underrated. Tyron Smith, the offensive line, Cameron Curl, safety. So Washington's got a couple players there that could definitely help a team. Depending on if you could grab them. Chase Young. Depending on how much you'd have to pay for Chase Young, that could be a possibility there. You got Stephon Gilmore, but he's a little old. Jadeveon Clowney, but he's kind of old. I'm looking down here. DJ Reader from the Bengals, defensive line, as long as you didn't pay too much. There's Blackman from the Colts. You want Blackman back on your Colts, Sarah, or no? And Mekhi Becton, offensive line. Devin White, the linebacker from the Buccaneers. That could be a good fit for any team, including Seattle. DJ Wanham, Tyler Boyd, Tyrell Dodson, linebacker from Buffalo, Jordan Fuller, safety. You still have a chance to bring Bobby Wagner back, so that would be a thing that I would do as long as you don't overpay. Bringing Bobby Wagner back to play for Seattle, I would do it. Normally, if he's just like an older player, but if you're an older player Hall of Famer and you've been there and you're bouncing back and forth between that team, another team like the Rams, I would say he's got enough juice left in the tank and he's proven it that if you don't overpay, yeah, bring Bobby Wagner back. That might actually be a priority. A.J. Dillon, Sheldon Rankins, Calais Campbell, Jordan Whitehead. So there's not really a whole lot of names that are out there, as you can hear. So, you might be better off just trying to go through the draft, based on getting a old, aging player that you may overpay, and then they end up giving you only like 2.5 to 5 sacks. Or 2.5 to 4.5 sacks, or maybe not a lot of production, maybe gets injured, maybe not worth the money. So if you're going to be spending, 10, 20, 30 million on a couple years, might as well just get someone in the draft and ends up being like $1 million for like 4 years or a couple million or 5 million. It's much less than what you would have to pay a superstar that's aging just based off name recognition. So honestly, if you had a choice between like a old Jadeveon Clowney or getting a rookie in the draft, I would get a rookie in the draft because you might end up developing a superstar and you can get them cheap for the first 4 or 5 years rather than overpaying for a guy that you hope that gets 10 sacks that might only get a couple. And then what happens if they get hurt? Then it's like wasted money. So, but again, you have to take risks, sometimes in free agency. But maybe using that draft pick for another player, and using, the draft for the D line, but then maybe, filling some of the other gaps, in free agency with some of those other names that are still available. Definitely some good secondary pieces there. I would bring Bobby Wagner back. I wouldn't get any of the D linemen necessarily, I don't think, unless you could get a good deal. If you get a good deal, yeah, bring him over. If Clowney wants to come over for a good, cheap, fair deal, and Bobby Wagner too, bring him back. You know, and hell, if you're going to overpay, you overpay for Bobby Wagner, not Clowney, because Wagner was there when you guys ended up winning. Clowney hasn't proven anything to the Seattle fans as far as like winning something big or being a key contributor for many, many years. So again, if you're, ever going to get to a position where you want to show a loyalty and slightly overpay for a guy to say thank you, we love you, Bobby Wagner would be the guy. So yeah, but if you can get Clowney and Wagner, that would help, and then and also additionally draft on O line, and then again, there's a few of those guys in the secondary you could be looking at too, just for added depth, that you could be looking at. So there's still names that are out there, but I was a little bit surprised with the Patrick Queen to the Steelers. I did not see that, but again, him, T.J. Watt going against a former team. Maybe he feels a little slighted because they brought in Roquan Smith, and before Roquan Smith, he was the guy, and then Roquan came in, and then he was the guy. But again, it ends up being a business at the end of the day. And the Steelers are always known for good defense as well. Pretty much everyone in that division's got pretty good defense. Sometimes the Bengals is up and down, but Browns, Ravens, Steelers, that's one thing you can count on year in and year out is pretty good D. And then once every 3 to 4 years, I feel the Bengals end up having like a top 15 D and maybe as good as top 12 or top 10 if they have the right, free agents and rookies. But that's a tough division to compete in. Right. But it all depends on who you have on the D line to help. The Ravens supporting cast is better than Seattle's. So if other guys are getting double teamed, then Clowney can end up getting more sacks and being more productive. But if he's on, like, let's say Seattle, and some of Seattle's guys aren't as, maybe talented as some of the depth that they have on Baltimore, and then the double teams aren't there and it's just one-on-one, then maybe the numbers are drastically lower on a Seattle rather than a Baltimore, because you got to think when guys get double teamed and you have more quality players on a defense that's ranked in the top 5, top 3, top 2, number 1 in the NFL, it's going to give other opportunities to the others, like Matabuke, to make a name for themselves. So, you are sometimes your supporting cast. Sometimes you're a superstar and you make everyone better around you, but other times you're an aging vet and you rely on other players that are quality around you to kind of help you out. So that way, if they get a double team and you can get one-on-one, that maybe you can actually get a cheap sack where that might not be possible on the other team. So we'll see where it goes. But, Clowney's still got a little bit, but I mean, if you're, hoping for 10 sack lunches or more, that might be asking too much. But if you're asking, somewhere between, 3 and 8, depending on if he can stay healthy for a full year, I mean, that's probably a little bit more realistic. 4 or 5 sack lunch throughout the season, unless he has like a big, big game. So Matt in the building, what's good? 5 shots on goal for the Vegas Golden Knights, 2 for the Kraken. 12:50 and counting. Vegas power play with about a minute 30 to go. Let's go, baby. Come on, Kraken. This is going to be a tough matchup. Vegas is going to be very, very aggressive, but they haven't been the same team since December. Before December, super dominant. Since December, injuries, and they've been beatable. So we have to take advantage of a team like this that normally is, first, second place in the division towards the top, and they're going to be bouncing up and down in the division. But, this is a game that is winnable. Vegas Golden Knights beat us the first game 4-1 in Vegas, and then we ended up beating them 3-0 obviously, and on the Winter Classic. And this is the next opportunity that we have. And then the last opportunity will be March 21st in Vegas. So we'll see if we can come out with a victory for Ebbs here tonight. With 1,000th career game. Let's go. Let's do that. Let's do that. And then we can get to 10, and then hopefully 15, and then 20, and we'll go from there. Vegas super aggressive. As long as we're not, passive and being intimidated. But they're just so big and physical, their players on the Golden Knights. So it's going to take everything that we got to be able to get this. And Vegas, they remember the embarrassment that we put them on, in the Winter Classic. So they haven't forgotten. Come on, Ty. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the workout stuff that people do. I mean, there's been times where athletes, will end up passing away, with body conditions that they never knew about, heart condition stuff, dehydration, and is being overworked. Got to know your limits. Come on, Burakovsky, let's go, baby. We got to find a magic line, and I don't know if it's going to be line 1, line 2, line 3, or line 4, but we're going to have to mix it up tonight. This is going to be tough. Like I can already tell. Like we're trying everything in our power to be able to be aggressive and match their intensity. But I mean, we're already 11 minutes in, and we only have 2 shots on goal. Not the most timing, execution and crispness that you would want to come out of the gates, but at least it's early and just wide. Get that rebound. Weather was crazy here in Oregon. It was sunny. Then I would go outside and go around the corner and just get drenched. And then we'd go around another bend and it would be sunny and then get drenched. It's, you never know how it's going to end up being here. Different cloud fronts coming through. So, but we had a couple good walks. Got a little bit soaked, but we like to go on adventures, so we're good. And we've got one more walk to do, and hopefully we can celebrate a Kraken win for this walk. What was the most surprising signing that you saw this morning, Sarah, from last night, late last night, or early this morning? Any of those surprise you? Captain Jack Eichel, got to watch out for him. He was out for a few games. He's going to be hungry. Oh, yeah, we got some chippiness. Punch him, baby. Chippiness. White Cloud. Hey, you guys want to fight? We're ready. If we want to throw the mitts down, we can do it. White Cloud, that was a little high. Towards the face to Jared McCann. How dare you? No tie siding just yet. Reflect in the building. What's good? Mooney to Atlanta. Yeah. Well, again, role player receiver, but of course, everyone's stats are going to go up with Kirk Cousins. So, again, if they can just find a way to get that defense up to par, it might be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons, running the division with the Saints in third and Carolina in fourth. So, I won't count out Nolans, though, even though we had Calvin and a few of the Saints fans kind of frustrated with how things are going for that football team. As long as you have good defense and your running game is, halfway decent, regardless if it's AK-41 Alvin Kamara or someone else or a combination, we already know that they have enough pieces to, compete and it might be three teams, just trying to salivate and just get to 10 wins. It's not like any of the teams in the NFC South are going to get to 12, 13, or 14, probably capping out at 11 if everything goes right. So it'll be very, very competitive in the NFC South for many years to come, for sure. Yeah, and then Deontay Johnson. I mean, sometimes if you know that you're not wanted, and maybe George Pickens is going to end up being that piece that Russell Wilson ends up going to make a name, and if you're not in the, you're not going to be a part of that story, then you just have to be able to go where you're going to be able to get the most money. And of course, does Deontay Johnson want to go to Carolina? Carolina was probably his last choice, but again, if they're going to give you a few more $1 million, and again, you're still in the NFL, you still have a job, you're still relevant. You can, get Bryce Young to be a better player. You could be the guy that turns his career around. So, maybe not the most ideal landing spot, but if you're going to get a few more $1 million, so be it. So, six shots on goal for the Vegas Golden Knights. Ebbs, his whole family is there. And I like it, like when you're, you know, you got front row seats on the glass. They got little holes for like the kids and the adults. So that way, if they want to give a puck and not throw it over the glass, they can just hand it, to a little kid or, someone in the family and whatnot. And they don't have them everywhere. There's designated spots, where they end up having those little areas where they can pass the puck through. Pretty cool. Saw Jordan give some to, seemed like some of the kids in the family in the pregame. 6 minutes to go in the first period. We're knotted up at 0. Defense has been great, baby. Let's go. From Vince Dunn. Nice. You ended up, taking off. And when I ended up going with my friend to the arcade, oh, nice save. And we ended up going to the arcade. We beat the Ninja Turtle game, the newer one. Then we ended up going to Sizzle Pie, and we ended up going to Shake Shack, and then the Blazer game. But usually, we'll exchange like, gifts and stuff for each other out of our collections or whatever. But he ended up going to Disneyland recently, and he went to Star Wars Disneyland. So they end up, having the rides, and then they have, different stores that are set up at Disneyland that will sometimes have some more like, rare or selective items that you can get, probably on websites and eBay, but, stuff that's kind of like exclusive or stuff that's harder to find. But he ended up getting me a Darth Maul statue. It's almost like kind of like a paperweight, and it's like a statue. It's fully black, carved, and doesn't light up. There's no batteries that go in. It's almost like made out of stone, and it's pretty heavy, 3 to 5 pounds and whatnot. But I didn't get a chance to show you a picture of that and whatnot. So pretty cool. Considering that I dug out my Darth Maul Black Series, he ended up wanting to get the Darth Vader, but then they ended up having an issue with his, so that he had to get his mailed to him, but ended up getting the last Darth Maul that they had, and ended up giving it to me. And I ended up swapping him with a Clyde Drexler McFarland and a couple Julio Rodriguez rookies that I had doubles of. So pretty cool. Anytime I can get something, that I never would buy on my own or even know that it existed. So now, since I have one, now I'm probably going to try to find the, Darth Vader one too, and maybe add a few to the collection and maybe get a collection of 3 of them. But that's the newest item that I got in the collection. All right, baby. Less than 4 minutes to go in the first period. Still knotted up at 0. Oh, you got one too? Nice. I imagine we maybe we have the same thing. That would be awesome. What I wouldn't want to say it's a coincidence because we both think kind of similar on the stuff that we like and whatnot. How many do you have? Do you have all of them? Do you have the Darth Maul? Do you have the Darth Vader? Do you have more than one, or do you just have one? That's hilarious. We both have the same collectible. But it's cool. I got the whole, Disneyland bag and all the stuff that he wrapped it with and everything else, but pretty neat. Man, I won't be able to find that anywhere really here in Oregon. Oh, you just that's hilarious. You just got the Darth Maul just like me. That's hilarious. 6-4 Golden Knights. Come on, baby. Yeah, so tell me more about this player, Reflect, that I need to watch film on. Give me all the information, college, height, weight, what you saw when you watched the tape. You said what Seattle and Denver have both interviewed a couple times with this particular player that's in the draft. So, of course, Michael Penix Jr. and Justin Fields to the Seahawks now seems like a possibility since the money wasn't spent, on a guy like Patrick Queen. You're going to be able to still spend some money in free agency, but as you're starting to see more and more guys get signed from teams and less opportunities and openings for Justin Fields maybe to be a starter, but that doesn't mean Justin Fields can't be a backup and then eventually work his way back to being a starter or just being good insurance at quarterback for another team. But again, Michael Penix Jr. on the Vikings still seems like the best fit to me. They can't get rid of Justin Jefferson. They have to keep that core the same. Just build the O-line and build the defense. And then again, they got Aaron Jones that they just added. So you got Aaron Jones, right? Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson. You still need to figure out who your running backs are. Other than Aaron Jones, if you have someone else that can come in as a 1-2 punch, since Madison is no longer there, and you add Michael Penix Jr. to that equation, Michael Penix Jr., Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, right? TJ Hawkinson. That sounds pretty fucking good if you ask me. Now, the O-line is bad and the defense is bad, so you need to figure that out. But once you do, that could be something sexy. And then we obviously know how we feel about Bo Nix to Denver. I don't see any other spot being as good of a fit besides, Denver, unless he was going to be the backup to Seattle and he was going to be the backup to Geno and they decided to go with him if that's what they thought would work. If, they have so many other needs though. So I just, I don't know if I could really see Seattle using a pick that high on a backup quarterback unless they feel Bo Nix is the quarterback of the future after Geno. If they think that, if they think he's the Jordan Love to the Aaron Rodgers of Geno, they think that he could be the guy, then maybe. But so many needs at offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, depending on if you get Bobby Wagner back or not, and secondary needs, as well as a tight end and a backup quarterback at some point in free agency or in the draft. Lots of questions that will be answered, but it's a very exciting time, I think, if you are a Seahawks fan. Moving on from post Pete Carroll, even though he'll still be in the building, but do we get to see this baby Ravens McDonald kind of shape, in front of our very eyes in the next few years? So I'm excited to see what you guys decide to do, and if you guys don't get, if you guys don't get enticed by free agency, I know you guys will be able to get something done, obviously, in the draft. So at least we're hoping, right? Fingers crossed that you got the right analytics people in that building to make the right decisions. 5 shots on goal for the Kraken, 6 for the Golden Knights. 2 minutes to go, less than 2 minutes to go in the first period. Let's go, baby. Yeah. That's why I can't see that really either. You might as well go for the hometown kid if you were going to go that route, but you never know. But most likely, I think, as long as Denver is interested, Knicks to Denver makes the most sense. And I think there's a lot of, interest there, based on how he plays. And, they need a lot of help still. It's not like Knicks goes to Denver and it solves all the problems, or Penix Jr. goes to the Seahawks and solves all the problems, or Penix Jr. goes to the Vikings and solves all the problems. They're just one piece, of the wheel that needs to, kind of turn out the same time. So come on, Kraken. Good save. Mariota to the Commanders, yeah. But just because Mariota goes to the Commanders and Sam Darnold is on Minnesota, it's not like they think that those are going to be the starters. There's people on social media that are reporting that those guys are going to be the starters. They're not going to be the starters. They're going to be the backup quarterback. They're definitely going to be drafting a quarterback in the draft. And then if they feel that that quarterback isn't on that level, then, maybe. But why would you start Mariota, on Washington over like a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May if you're going to be using like a top 5 pick? That would be stupid. It just wouldn't be smart. You're just going to throw the guy into the fire, and you already know what you got out of Mariota. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good backup, but even though I'm a Duck fan through and through, I mean, he doesn't deserve to start anymore. Same thing with like Jameis Winston, even though he's got dreams to start. Sometimes, you have a few years to be able to prove yourself on the field, or if you're injury prone, and you're either going to make it and you're going to be a starter, or you're just going to have to come to terms that, you're going to be a backup. And the only way you're going to end up being a starter, again, if there's an injury. So 39 seconds left in the first period. Still knotted up here at 0. Yeah, Fields is probably the only quarterback, out of the many, many quarterbacks that we feel, isn't a success, but he's not a failure either. I feel he's got the most upside out of anyone that hasn't really hit their potential at quarterback in the NFL right now. As far as everyone else that's been a quarterback in the last couple years, I think we kind of know, at this point, did they pan out? Trevor Lawrence? Yes. Or did they not pan out? Mac Jones, Zach Wilson? No. And then obviously we have to wait on Trey Lance to get an opportunity to play. And then, it's kind of leaning more towards no. But again, if Trey Lance gets a chance to play, there is a small percentage that he might be able to do something for some team. But again, it's going to be more of a backup role, and he's going to have to earn it, all the way to the top, which doesn't really seem that likely unless there's a lot of injuries for a football team. All right, end of the first period. We're knotted up at 0, baby. All right, let me know what you guys want to do for photos while we wait, and I got you. Ebbs with his 1,000th career game. No goals yet. Good defense, though. Knotted up at 0, baby. Same one. That's cool. I have to look to see who else they've made out of that set. If it's, Darth Maul, Darth Vader, and if they have how many characters that they've made out of that. But I don't know how many total, but I know at least for a fact that they've made Darth Maul and Darth Vader. So I'll have to get the Darth Vader at some point too. Yeah, whoever signed Simmons, that would be pretty crazy. Oh, the Darth Vader didn't look good. I like the way that the Maul looks. I mean, it's based off just being like a statue. Now, if they had a version that was like lighter, that like lit up or something with like batteries or lights or something, but it was just a cool gift to to be able to be out in that area and to be able to be like, oh, let me get something for my boy. So you look wonky. Oh, okay. Yeah, seriously. cool that we can end up celebrating him tonight. And I don't know if he'll be able to get a goal tonight, but hopefully he can maybe be a part of an assist to help us. And if we're lucky, maybe he can end up scoring for us. But it's going to be very, very tough. But at least we're knotted up at 0. The defense has been fantastic for Aiden Hill and Philip Grubauer. 9 shots on goal for Aiden Hill, and then 7 beautiful saves for Gru. Make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. It's very, very important, baby. Thumbnail, decided to experiment a little bit, bigger logos in the background, Seattle backdrop, and, with the images there. So we'll have to kind of, and I can always go to my regular look, where we have the ice in the background, but, I'm always going to evolve and mix it up and try to find some colorful backgrounds. And then once we get to NFL season, I may transition some of my, NFL streams to look something like that, with as far as the logos being bigger with the player image in front, so definitely exciting. Being able to use my creativity and show you guys what I'm about. But I think it turned out pretty good. Plus anything with like water or beautiful sky, like sunset or like Hawaii background, I mean, that stuff's going to pop. The brighter the colors in the background, it's like more eye-catching. So yeah, I just got him sitting next to my my Darth Maul Black series. Still haven't decided if I want to open them up or not. The box is not like mint or anything, and I just kind of want to be able to, they got like swap the hands, swap the head, pose them, put the double lightsaber together, and then it's got like a jacket, material. It's like it's like, for me being like a toy collector, half of it is like really, really cool because it's like you have so many amazing items that are in the package that are like worth something, so that if you need to sell something for money, or you're going to have the maximum value as far as the collectibles. But then on the flip side, it's like I want to be able to play around with some of the stuff and the articulation and how they move, and so at least I have like the Mariner bobbleheads, and I got like starting lineups and some wrestling figures, and some stuff from my childhood, that's like loose and whatnot. But I don't know. I may come to the point where I open up the mall box, but if I open up the mall box, all I do is like slip the tape, and it doesn't ruin the box. The integrity of the box doesn't get ruined, and then I can just flip the flap up, poop, poop, take the figure out, and then if I want to put it back in, I can. But I don't know. Darth Maul would look really good on my desk. I'm thinking that I might end up doing it. Possibly. I haven't seen a hack sighting yet, so. Two power plays for Seattle, only one for Vegas. Defense, 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 baby. What's the best signing that you guys saw today that you liked based off fit? You guys like the Joe Mixon fit? What's the best fit out of all the players that you saw? You guys like Aaron Jones to the Vikings? You like that? I mean, sometimes these are only going to be like 1-year deals. It's like almost like you're just getting a rental, and then, they're going to try to get the bag somewhere else. But I don't know. If they get Michael Penix Jr. in the draft on Minnesota, and they can get a couple offensive linemen as well, that could be pretty fun to watch. I mean, my dreams of getting Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix are gone for Tampa with the Baker Mayfield signing. So hopefully Denver and Minnesota can get those two pieces. You know what? That is a good idea. I will have to try to be able to find an image of him that I can transfer over to my like editing program, and hopefully I can do that. But yes, that is a great idea. And like I said, I've been able to do something like with Pete for you. But as far as an image of Hack or an image of coaches on the thumbs, yeah, I'm definitely down for that idea. It just depends on, the game and, if I can get an image good enough to my standard to cross over. But yeah, I think that would be awesome. I definitely will do that at some point, for sure. Yeah, all the photos. Yeah, I'll have to talk to my guy. He's working on some new technology and new stuff, through collegiate art designs for like canes and signs and stuff. So, if I end up getting any prototype stuff, or if he ends up, if I end up getting some new stuff, or once we get into the new duck season, I can maybe get something sent to you, another chain or another version of the chain. So. Yeah, 12 chain is badass. Let's take a look at some stats. All right, so as far as the first period is concerned, shots on goal, 9 for the Kraken, 7 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Hits, 9 for the Golden Knights, 5 for the Kraken. And then penalty minutes, 4 for Vegas, 2 for Seattle. And Seattle is actually winning the face-off percentage at the moment, 54.5 to 45.5. I'll take that. Take that, baby. Greg Gaines. I'm excited about that. Devin White is gone, but bringing back Levante David for one more year, that really made my heart feel good. Like literally everything that I wanted to happen in free agency happened. Baker's back. Mike Evans is back. Antoine Winfield Jr. got the franchise tag, and we got Levante David back. The only big casualty will be Devin White going to a new team, but he ended up getting benched towards the end of the season. So, that one is kind of like, I understood, that more than likely that he is gone, and they already moved on from him last season. So especially, if you end up saying certain things to the media and then your play doesn't match, maybe some of the things that you're saying, and, you're kind of getting on bad terms with, maybe some of the other players or coaches, it'll be very easy for them to be able to move on. But I'm going to miss Devin White, but getting Levante David to come back, that was my favorite player, after Derek Brooks, because after Brooks and, Sapp and Lynch and Alstott and that era ended, and when we drafted Levante David second round out of Nebraska, I was like, this is my favorite player. And he has been one of my favorite players on the current roster for a long, long time. Very, very, very underrated. That's my guy. I got a rookie jersey of Levante David when they had the old colors where they had the little orange stripe and then the, kind of the pewter on the top of the shoulder pad and whatnot. So glad they ended up going back to the, kind of the old school normal design, which is much cleaner. The Levante David, that is my guy. I was very happy about that. He deserves to be able to retire a Buccaneer if he chooses to, or he may try to just keep chasing the bag and he might end up on another team to be able to try to help them, win a Super Bowl or to be that veteran, presence out there. But for a guy that, has been in the league 10, 11, 12, 13 years, a lot of times when you're at linebacker, you really start slowing down. But for Levante David, he's one of those guys that really hasn't slowed down past year 10. He's still the same type of player as he was as a young man early in his career. So very, very happy about him coming back to the Bucs, baby. Wow, that's cool. I saw that. He wants a chance to be able to be a starter, but he knows how many injuries that are plaguing that team. So there's no guarantee Deshaun Watson's going to make it throughout a full season. And it sounds like Joe Flacco won't be there. So Jameis will be the backup. But the sad thing is, Browns fans would rather have Joe Flacco be the starter or the backup than Jameis Winston. So hell, I imagine some of them want Joe Flacco over, the current starter with Deshaun, but it is what it is. Joe Flacco did amazing, though. Got to give him credit. But, again, definitely got exposed in the playoffs against the Texans, but had a nice run considering he was, jobless on the couch, came in, and he actually kicked some fucking ass while he was playing. Yeah. If you can get Fields cheap for Seattle, that could end up being your future quarterback, and then you look at the draft of the quarterbacks that are there this year. And then if you decide to pass on it, you could always, utilize those picks, for the pieces that maybe are more of a need now. And then in the following year, or 2 years, then you can be looking at like an Arch Manning and all these other guys that are going to be coming out. And there might be another opportunity that will come to light. So we'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a very, very interesting NFL draft. That's for damn sure. Levante David, that's my guy. Take care of your mental health, y'all. Win the day. Take care of yourself. All right, baby. Start the second period. Let's go. This feels like it could end up being like a 2-1 kind of game. But hopefully we end up getting the first goal to kind of start that Uncle Mo and that momentum. I don't know what I need to do for us to be able to get the dub. Normally I'll end up using the bluish background or this one, but I felt it was time for a change, baby. Anytime you end up having those bigger names, a lot of times it's heartbreaking when they end up leaving, but the NFL is a business. Both parties both want to be there, and then you got to be able to come to terms with the money. And sometimes guys end up being cap casualties. It's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. The Bengals, maybe in a position where we'll see who they end up drafting, but they could end up, looking at one of these elite wide receivers to join Jamar Chase. So it'll be very exciting to see what they end up with. All right, second period here about to start. Still have no sighting on the hack tie, but I will give you an update once I see one. Let's go, baby. Jordan, 1,000th career game for Ebbs. We're knotted up at 0. Let's get this second period started, baby. All right, come on, baby. Any surprises on any of the NHL scores from tonight? And if anything else that you guys want to discuss on the NFL side for free agency frenzy, you can just type it in the chat. Always a great time of year. Getting closer and closer for baseball season to get underway as well. NASCAR in full swing. Gives me something to get excited about on Sundays that I absolutely love. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's the announcers, the sound of the cars. If you end up having a good surround system, it's just, it's just embedded in who I am. And no matter what I do, it's like I can't get away from it. It's like I can't just watch a little bit of the race. Like once I start, I have to watch the whole thing. But it's not like pulling teeth for me, like watching the NBA. Like I really truly enjoy it. But NASCAR's got some great correspondents and announcers, and I love the different camera angles, the different tracks. They do a great job of setting up everything on the NASCAR side as far as what they present across the globe to fans in NASCAR. It's fucking sweet. It's come a long ways for sure. I mean, we may not have Jimmy Johnsons and Jeff Gordons and and Smokes, out there with the Tony Stewarts or Dale Earnhardt Juniors, but there's still some studs that are out there that are making magic. And I feel like NASCAR now, it's a little bit more well-rounded. So, you do have superstars that are out there, but so many of them are so talented that it's like, you're more than likely going to have a different winner every week. And sometimes it may be, just a car that survives at the end. So it may not even be one of the top 10 that's projected to win. You might just be a guy that's normally finishing in 20th place, but if you can just survive to the end without getting in the major wreck, you might be in position to score a win. And that's what I think is pretty cool, because if you watch, it's not going to be just the same superstar name over and over and over again, maybe like they had in past years. In the last couple, it's feels like more first-time winners, and it feels like more guys that have only won limited races that are coming out on top. Not the guys that have always won 30, 40, 50, 60 races. You're getting guys that have only won one, and then they win their second, or a guy that's won 5, and now he's won 6. It's cool to see guys progress like that, and, to see the joy on their face when they actually, cross that, that last lap and they end up burning out. It's fucking sweet. 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's a long time. 11 shots on goal for the Kraken, 7 for the Golden Knights, 18 minutes and counting in the second period. Come on, Kraken. Well, as far as George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth are concerned, they're probably happy Russ is there, because Russ is going to throw them the ball more than Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph or anyone else that was on the team, or Mitchell Trubisky. So, if you're Pickens and you're Freiermuth, you don't have to be best friends with Russ, but, maybe, you're going to get more opportunities there, and especially with Deontay Johnson, going to a new team, there's going to be opportunities there. But that division is so tough. I mean, what are the Steelers going to do? Finish in third over the Bengals finish in last if that were to happen. If they lose all these players like Boyd and Higgins and they have injuries, what's the best the Steelers are going to do? Third, 10 wins, 10-7, and you would have to assume Cleveland will be right there, close to 10 wins, and then the Ravens will be somewhere between 10 and 13. You would assume, unless there's injuries, especially adding fucking King Henry to the squad. That's exciting. But they still need a true number one receiver. It's like, you got a few guys out there, Zay Flowers and Bateman, but you still need a true number one receiver. You got Mark Andrews, but he's been getting hurt pretty often lately in the last couple of years. So if you can get a healthy year of Henry, Andrews, and Lamar, yeah, that could be pretty sexy. And it definitely takes the pressure off Lamar when he doesn't have to dance and romance anymore. He can just hand it off to Derrick Henry and feel even more comfortable than he did with like Gus the Bus or any of the other running backs that they've had over the years, or like a J.K. Dobbins. You got a guy that you can hand the ball off to 20 times a game or more if you choose to. Some of Lamar's stats will go down because that's less him scrambling and throwing, but then that could lead to more touchdowns, less interceptions, and ultimately protecting the football a little bit more and possibly more wins. So, Ravens fans are going to be super excited to have. I mean, it's the best running back that they've had. I mean, arguably in their team history. I mean, have they had anyone better in Baltimore than King Henry? I mean, that's a pretty. I mean, even though King Henry is a little bit older, he's still good for 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns at the very minimum. So. Yes! Burakovsky, baby! That's Kraken hockey, baby! Yes, there we go. Woo! Let's go, baby! Yes, 1-0 Kraken. Nice job, Andre. Hell yeah. No look right on the tape. Andre Burakovsky goal in 2 of the last 3 games for the Kraken. Bite those teeth. Let's go. 1-0 Seattle. Big goal. Let's go. Now, hopefully we can jump on them here and get another one within the next 5 minutes. And if we can go up 2-0 in the second period, that would be amazing. Let's go. Like I said, this is the most exciting matchup for me besides Colorado when we play. Woo! That was pretty. Nice job, Andre. That was sweet. 13 shots on goal after we started a little conservative, a little passive. We let them kind of push us around. We're at Climate Pledge. We're at home. We're not in Vegas, right? So we need to be the aggressive team. Took them about, a period to kind of figure it out, but I love it. 13 shots on goal for the Kraken when they were sitting at like 2, and Vegas is still sitting at 7. So they've only had 2 in the last few minutes. So I like what I'm seeing so far. Oh, boo. We got a minor penalty on Dumoulin. Oh my gosh, if we shut them out 3-0 again, I don't know. Oh, I got a hack sighting. All right, we got a gray blazer, blue navy undershirt, and a kind of a grayish with blue dotted tie. So it's an interesting look. It's a different dress attire than I've seen him wear all year. Doesn't look bad in it. He always looks dapper, and he's trying to look handsome out there, representing for the Pacific Northwest. Hey, maybe it could be good luck. Apparently, it is. Ebbs 1,000th game. And another cool thing about the Kraken that I want to be able to shout out is that whenever a Seattle player has like a monumental feat, that they have an accomplishment, whatever it may be, 1,000th game, so and so, how many goals. A lot of times you'll see a fraction of the teams in the NHL like come up with like a custom logo, and show appreciation for that player like they did for Ebb's 1,000th career game. And I think it's cool because you're not going to see every team switch their social media page logo to that, player to show love for that particular player's achievement. There's usually about a quarter of the teams that'll do it on their socials, and Seattle is one of them. And I think it's cool because, even though we haven't been in existence for many, many years, you can tell how much they really do appreciate the players, either the ones that have started with us or the ones that have come to the roster. And no matter what the accomplishment is, they go out of their way to showcase it, not just in a social media post on Twitter, X, Instagram, or Facebook, but they will go out of their way to come up with some cool like design, logo, and appreciation that they can actually show on their socials for that day. And I like that. It's a cool thing to be able to give back and show that love to the player. Some teams are just going to have their standard logo, as their profile pic forever, and that's just how it's going to be. And other teams are going to flip them around here and there, and I like it when they flip it around and they make a point to say, hey, this is a big thing, and we're going to make sure we showcase this player today. And I love when they give back to the players like that. Nice save. Judah in the building. What's good? I got a 5-star. What's her name? You got to look it up and let me know. How's it going, Judah? How are you? How's your day going? Colorado 6, Calgary 2, Buffalo 7, Detroit 3, Montreal 3, Columbus 0, Ottawa 2, Pittsburgh 1 in OT, Philly 3, San Jose 2, Rangers 1, Carolina 0, Florida 4, Dallas 3, Minnesota 4, Arizona 1, Chicago 7, Anaheim 2. That shows you how terrible Anaheim is. 1-0 Kraken, Vegas power play. A couple seconds left on it. 14-9 shots on goal for the Kraken. I like the aggressiveness, baby. Yeah, family vibe is damn. March assault 1-1. Fuck, just like that. I got to see if they're going to replay that. Their referee indicated goal right away, but I don't know. Let me see. Let me see the replay. Let me look at the replay now. He overcommitted. Grew. Jonathan Marchessault. Damn it. 36 goals for Marchessault. Well, there goes our shutout, but I still think that we can win. And that's what's going to be the most important. I mean, even the NHL logo doesn't like that goal. The white background jumped out on it, said, no, I don't like that. I will give them the love. Come on, Tartar. Give me some sauce, baby. Jonathan Marchessault, power play, assisted by Ivan Barbashev and Captain Jack Eichel. You knew they were going to strike at some point or another. We got to find a way now. Come on, Seattle. Time to bounce back. 3-1 win. There we go. Hey, 3-0. Now it's 3-1. I mean, I'll take a 1-goal win at this point. I mean, I don't even care if we win 2-1, 3-2, 4-3, however it ends up being. Yeah, if Grew didn't overcommit, and again, it's tough to go side to side, and when the passing is crisp or if it's off a rebound, and sometimes you'll get a goalie just slightly overcommits his body weight to one side, and then all it takes is one quick pass, and then one quick just flick of the wrist, and then you're down or you're tied at 1-1. 14 shots on goal for the Kraken, 11 for the Vegas Golden Knights, 11:50 left in the second period. Come on, Carl. Bye bye. Carlson, wide right. Come on now. We can't get down on ourselves because I mean, you start shrugging your shoulders when it's 1-1. You look up, it's going to be 2-1, and then if we end up getting down 2-1, it's going to be tough. Come on, Riker. 12 and in. Let's go. Good pass. Good pass. Oh, good save by Aiden Hill. One-on-one opportunity there. What a beautiful pass there. Cross ice pass to another cross ice pass right into the crease, one-on-one, but it's tough to get on Aiden Hill there. Come on, Borgen. And then Kraken don't play tomorrow. So Kings, Blues, Predators, Jets, Caps, Oilers. So Alexander Ovechkin, that would be an opportunity there, and Connor McDavid. And that's at 7 on TNT, or the Avalanche and the Canucks, which is another good game, but that's at 7:30. And by the time that game ends, it'll be like 1 in the morning for some of y'all. So 7:30, and then that game would end at 10. Um, so I'm thinking we're going to end up doing the Caps and the Oilers unless we end up having a lot of NFL news. And if there ends up being a lot of crazy things that end up happening, even though a lot of the big names have already signed, so we'll either do an NFL free agent frenzy stream or we'll do the Caps and the Oilers. But more than likely, we'll do Caps and Oilers because it's on TNT. We get to see two amazing goats go at it, and Connor McDavid and Ovechkin. I would assume Edmonton would win at home, but you never know. Maybe Ovechkin can do something. So that will be the stream that we do tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we will be doing the Capitals and the Kraken. And then they'll do the actual ceremony for Ebbs' 1,000th game that he's playing tonight. They'll celebrate him on Thursday, and that game is on at 7. So looks like we're going to have 3 straight days of 7 p.m., which will be 9 p.m. in the Midwest or 10 if you're on the East Coast. So when I start, like, what time is it now in Australia for you? Is it like the afternoon, like Wednesday afternoon right now? Because right now it's Tuesday night, 8:17 here. What time is it in Australia right now? What's the time difference? Is it like 3 or 4 in the afternoon? 1 p.m. Okay. Yeah, I mean, especially if I can see Connor McDavid and Ovechkin. I mean, that's I wouldn't mind doing Colorado also, but again, that one's at 7:30, and when we're on that late, especially people in the Midwest and the East Coast, like if everyone is in my time zone, then 7:30 starts are not a big deal. But when you're not starting a matchup until 9:30 or 10 p.m. for some people, I get it; it can be a little late. So 2:20 p.m. Wednesday afternoon, 18-hour difference. 1-1, Kraken and the Vegas Golden Knights. I knew this was going to be a good one. Andre Burakovsky with the first goal, assisted by Jared McCann and Ty Cartier. And then in this second period, Jonathan Marchessault on the power play, assisted by Ivan Barbashev and Captain Jack Eichel. We just have to make sure Eichel doesn't go crazy and we'll be fine. But they have so many players that can score goals for Vegas. But again, they were a very good team prior to December. Since December, they haven't been very good. They've been like a 500 or, roughly 500 or slightly under 500 team. But in the first part of the season, they were fantastic. And they definitely have hit a skid. So we want to make sure we can take advantage of a team that is a little beat up and a little injured. If they got a wing broken, we have to take advantage. If they're not flying smoothly out there, since December, we need to take advantage when they're at a weak point. It's everyone for everyone now. We're trying to get to the wild card. So, and right now they have the spot that we want. Out of play. Yeah, you could argue that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not really an argument, but you would assume that Colorado, wow, off the crossbar. You would say that Colorado Avalanche have the best home ice advantage out of any team in the NHL based off their fans and that vibe. I mean, it's like, can you win there? Yeah, but it's very, very difficult. Just like, winning games in Seattle for the Seahawks, or winning in the Dome for the Saints, or winning obviously at Arrowhead for Kansas City. It is doable. You can win, but when those crowds get going, it's very difficult to get dubs there on a regular basis. 19 shots on goal for Seattle, 12 for the Vegas Golden Knights. We got 8:21 left in the second period. Let's go, baby. Nice save, Drew. And I didn't even know if Drew would be in net tonight. I put him on the Sun thinking that he would be the starting goaltender, and sometimes they'll release that information, and sometimes you have to kind of guess and whatnot. But I'm glad I guessed right. So far, so good though. Reggie Wayne was there. Yeah, I know a lot of people taking a look at Bo Nix and the rest of the squad out there with Troy Franklin or Oregon's pro day. Good defense there by Riker. We're aggressive right now. I mean, we're playing to win. You can definitely tell the intensity is up. And I like that. I want to be able to see every single player on every single line give everything that they got. And, sometimes when we play the lower name teams or teams that are, maybe on our level, like similar record, sometimes we play down to the competition and you see your favorite team doing that, no matter what sport we're talking about. But anytime you play Colorado or Vegas at home or on the road, you know how much it means to them and how hard it is to be able to beat a team like that. So like, you got to give everything you got, and it still might not be good enough. So reflect with a threer. Appreciate you. 97 to go. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Three. Dalla, holla. Let me know what you want to do for photos. It could be someone from the Huskies. It could be a Mariners. It could be something, whatever you want. You let me know what you want me to put up, and I got you. Appreciate you. 7 minutes to go in the second period. Knotted up at one, baby. Let's go. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. $10 hala. Release the Kraken, baby. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. Little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Both these amazing Seahawks superstars holding it down. I appreciate the two of you very much. 19 shots on goal for Seattle, 14 for Vegas. Let's go. Reflect is like, I don't want that weird number. They can't have odd numbers like this. So I'm going to make it another odd number, but it's a little bit more. $2 holla. 15 better than 13. We appreciate that. Every dollar counts, as you know. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with little cactus jackies. I don't want to give you that unlucky 13. Let's give you 15. I appreciate that. Appreciate you. Pharaoh Brown. Megan with a fiver. Back to back to back to back to back to back. Appreciate the two of you very much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little cactus jack. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Thank you. You guys are great. I appreciate you very, very much. Yes. We appreciate it. Mucho. Yeah, old school. Yeah. Back in the day. What would you guys like for photos for the two of you? So, what was your takeaway from the pro day? What did I mean? Obviously, the main thing that surprised us is, the kicker. It's like, oh, all of a sudden you can make 60-yard kicks, in that setting, but then you can't make close kicks of like 35 or 32 or 29. When the game counts and is on the line. Different scenario, different pressure. End of the game when all the fans are there and the band and all the players and whatnot. But I mean, I saw that part too. I was like, why the hell can you do that during the regular season? But it is what it is. Blue Jay in the building. What's good? Overpaid for Fant and Leonard. Well, since the salary cap went up, I'm not necessarily thinking maybe overpaid, but if it stayed the same or went down, then you could say, yeah, they overpaid. But I think at this point, since the salary cap goes up every year, you have to just look at what other tight ends are getting. So sometimes you get a guy that may not deserve the money that he gets, but just because other players are getting paid similar amounts, where you're getting, guys that are getting overpaid and they don't deserve it. And then you're getting guys that do deserve it that are getting underpaid. So it's a fine line when it ends up being a business, Blue Jay. And of course, when you look at anything on paper and you don't see like amazing results in the stat sheet, and then you see this big amount of money that you're going to pay a guy, you think, damn, what are we doing? But again, once you go through the logistics, the analytics, the metrics, and then you actually compare it to what other guys are getting, not just the individual, then you start to have a better understanding on how these contracts and this money works. But anyone that just blindly looks down at a piece of paper or on a computer screen and sees a big ass number going to a guy that maybe hasn't put up the stats to get that money, I can understand where people are coming from. But again, you also have to look at on the flip side, depending on if these guys are long-term pieces or just rentals, there is a chance that, what if you didn't even get Williams at all? Like you bid for him and then you got outbid. So even though it might have looked like too much money, damn it, 2-1 Golden Knights. Damn, damn, damn. Fucking Vegas. But you always have to be happy with at least that you got something instead of being like, well, you got to be positive about things and, you know, try not to sip too much on the haterade and just try to enjoy the pieces that you got. And then hopefully that he can end up producing for y'all. Wow. Unbelievable. Top shelf. Unbelievable. Pavel, 2-1 Golden Knights. Pavel. Goyofeev. Damn it. Try to get a photo of Pavel. 2-1 Vegas, damn it. 21 shots on goal for the Kraken, 19 for Vegas. Jonathan Marchessault getting them tied up and unassisted. Pavel Dorofeev, 2-1 Golden Knights. Yeah. Well, if you're going to go Fant or Disley, Fant would be the better one to go, younger and a little bit more upside. So they usually use Fant more of like a blocker rather than a receiver, but we'll see if that changes in this new regime. To me, Gino is better than Fields. You got to understand, certain guys are going to be popular in the NFL, just like Jay Jetta vouching for Justin Fields because he's a popular guy. But you have to really come down to, guys that are popular with like IG and like Instagram and Facebook and social media presence and whatnot. At the end of the day, it's about stats, chemistry, leadership, and can you get the job done? So, yeah, Justin Fields might be more popular than Geno Smith, but he ain't a better quarterback than Geno. So you have to realize that too, Blue Jay, a lot of the younger generation, if you're younger, of course, it's going to be more sexy to have a Justin Fields scrambling and gambling out there. But if you're talking about a guy that you can trust not turning the ball over, the guy that can get you more wins and give you more consistency, that's Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno might be a little bit older and he might not be as sexy as a Justin Fields type of player or who Justin Fields is, but you have to realize it's not about popularity or what you look like. Otherwise, Jimmy Garoppolo would have 10 Super Bowls with his good looks, and that's not the case. So there you go. But again, a lot of people will get enamored with players that are popular, rather than what they actually are doing on the field. Get that save, Gru. I mean, but it can go both ways. Like if Geno never made it to Seattle, maybe he never turns into the player that he ended up developing in. Sometimes you have to find the right team that believes in you with the right coach and the right supporting cast. But if Geno kept floating around a bunch of dog shit teams, and never really got the chance to get that rhythm with the proper coach and supporting cast, and we're not even talking about Geno Smith today, then the Justin Fields thing would make sense. But if you already got a guy that has proven himself, why are we hating on a guy that has proven himself and exceeded the expectations? Seattle fans need to be on board. Again, you may want to be looking for someone else to take over, but for the time being, you want to be able to appreciate what you have with what's in front of you, not just dreaming of having Justin Fields in the future. You know, you want to be able to soak in the greatness and what you're getting now instead of just, not being able to appreciate what you have now and just look into the future. I mean, it's like, Atlanta Falcons fans would rather have had Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins because that would be a more of a popular thing, right? But who's the better quarterback? Kirk Cousins. So who's going to make more players better? Kirk Cousins. Who's going to put more butts in the seats? Maybe Justin Fields initially until he starts fucking up and they start booing him. But Kirk Cousins gives them a better chance, the Falcons, to get the NFC South crown and to be able to get to 10 wins. You got to look at Justin Fields' numbers before you start, thinking that he's such a great player. Does he have potential? Yeah, but it has to be the right system, right players, right team, right GM, right head coach, right O-line, right defense, right running backs, right wide receivers, and it still might not work out. 1 minute to go, 2-1 Vegas. I think teams would give up for Fields. Russell, it's because, Wilson has got like not a very good attitude off. Damn it. Another goal. 3-1 Vegas. Golly. Or did he save it? Oh, brutal. 2-minute minor. Yeah. And also Fields really hasn't had a true number one receiver, even though DJ Moore was considered a top 10 receiver at one point or another. But as far as consistency is concerned, but it's like you need scheme, you need a better O-line, you need a very strong running game for Fields, to be successful. But I would say that, he is the most coveted quarterback that hasn't fully hit his potential yet. But, you've seen flashes. With other guys, it's like, with Russ, it's like, he burnt bridges based off, maybe off the field stuff. But he can still end up giving you good stats for the Steelers for 1 year, But again, it's like what we think about a player off the field doesn't mean that the player can't produce on the field. Like Russ may not be our favorite, but he can still get 26 touchdowns and 8 picks, something similar to like Baker Mayfield. It's just that, a lot of people will lean more towards Baker based off his attitude and what the players say about him rather than a guy like Russ that might not be liked by a lot of people, but still can put up a decent stat line even at the late stages of his career. So you got to be, keep it real. You got to be able to do the pros and the cons. So if Fields gets on the right team, that he could end up blossoming into a, top 12 quarterback. But as of right now, he's a top 16 quarterback. But he has potential to get from 16 to 14 to 12 to 10. There is possibilities that he could get to that point if the team was the right match and if he kept on developing. So. Yeah. So, don't be surprised. I mean, it's not likely, but Fields to Seattle, if you don't give up too much, it could really benefit the team because you got to think if Geno goes down with an ACL week 5, you have Justin Fields to come in, you're fine. You feel good. You don't feel like, oh my God, what are we going to do? You probably feel the best out of any team in the NFL with a serious injury happening. And it's not like you're going to have Geno for 10 years, just like with me and Baker on Tampa. We're going to have those guys for the next couple, but as far as long term, Fields is young, and again, he's shown the most potential out of any young quarterback in the last 5 to 10 years. He hasn't really done everything, but it's because he's on the fucking Chicago Bears. Like many people that if they were in that same position on the Chicago Bears would fail. Caleb could go there with Maserati Marv and still fail. So it's like you got to be able to have the right owner, the right GM, the right head coach, the right O-line, the right supporting cast. And if you don't have that, and you're in a tough division with the Vikings, right, the Packers and the Lions, there's not a whole lot of wiggle room. So again, we've seen Fields have moments, and it may not have made sense a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, but for me, I could definitely see him playing somewhere and either in a backup role or in a starting role, but it all depends on value and if you can get a good deal for a player like that. It's not like you're getting Justin Fields and you're going to get a deal from someone that is like a Trey Lance, where we have no idea if Trey can play. We've seen Fields run and throw. He just needs a little bit of coaching and mentoring and a better supporting cast, and then we can make a true evaluation out of Justin Fields. But I don't really see Justin going down and being like a bottom 10 quarterback. I feel that he'll be a top 16 quarterback for his whole career. But if he wants to be a top 10 or top 12, he's got to go to a better team than Chicago. Yeah. But again, for a lot of us, we've watched, a lot of games, you know, so some of us are going to watch our team, and some of us are going to watch many, 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 many games and many, many teams. So the more games that you watch and the more film that you watch, the better educated prediction and feeling that you have for a player. Especially like I said with fantasy football. If you're good at fantasy football, it relays based off football knowledge on you have an understanding of greatness no matter what team the player is on. That is a good gauge because, like I said, if you're fantastic at it, it shows that you're following many, many players and many, many teams, not just teams and players for your favorite, but everybody, not just in the NFC, but maybe in the AFC too. 2-1 Vegas. All right, let me know what you guys want to do for photos for Reflect Megan. You guys let me know, and I got you. But have you ever met anyone that is amazing at fantasy and watches a lot of games that's stupid or wrong a lot of times? Not really. A lot of times when you get someone that is an expert at fantasy and watches games and understands talent, right? It does make a difference, because it means that you're watching many, many players on an elite level because you have to be great at fantasy. You know what I mean? You have to be able to watch a lot of teams and a lot of players. So it's like with Reflect, he's not just watching Seahawks games. He's watching not just Monday night and Sunday night and Thursday night. You're going to have to go out of your way to be able to watch many, many players to be able to come up with that kind of evaluation. It's a lot of stats, it's a lot of film, highlight packages. But again, the more full games that you watch and the better you are at fantasy, it does show a type of intelligence that and it's not like if you're not good at fantasy or you're not watching as many games, it doesn't mean that you can't come up to a good conclusion. But the more games you watch and the better you are at fantasy, the more of an expert you are going to be on football, on the NFL. I mean, I've never met anyone that is a fantasy football champion or anyone that has been elite at fantasy that has been an idiot for football. I've never met one. Anyone that is elite at fantasy is incredibly smart and incredibly intelligent, because you have to be able to win at fantasy. You just can't luck yourself to a championship in fantasy football. So I'm just saying that with fantasy football, it does show a form of intelligence on the players other than your favorite team. That's all I'm saying. And again, you're just starting off. But to act like Reflect doesn't know football on that flip side, he knows. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm saying you don't know. But again, some people are going to know a little bit more on certain subjects than others. Like, for example, Matt with route running and different things with wide receivers and tight ends. He may know a lot more than even me and Reflect and other people in the room. Everyone's going to have their specialties and everyone's going to be an expert on certain things. Like when it comes to rugby and Kraken and NHL, you're going to be the expert on the Kraken stuff, right? But maybe me and Reflect have more Mariner information than you. So, depending on the team and the player, and also you and Reflect may have more Seattle Seahawks information than me, depending on certain games or articles that maybe I've read. So you got to think, if you're good at fantasy, it helps with the knowledge. But if you're not good at it, it doesn't mean you don't know anything. But everyone is different based on how they watch games and interpret games. Because you can watch, but it doesn't mean that people fully understand all of the strategies that are going on in the game. I mean, football is very, very complex, just like any sport. And it's not like with rugby or lacrosse or some of those other things. We don't know. Like, you're going to be the expert in those things. You're going to have to teach us the rules and the terminology. No one's going to be able to come in here and have more knowledge on rugby and lacrosse than you. So, everyone's going to be an expert on a different type of subject. That's just kind of how it goes. All right, let me get some photos up. All right, let me get some music in the background. I gotta delete a few photos here to make a little bit of room. Sure, sounds like a good choice. Let's see what I can find. I wonder if I still have the file. I think I still have the file somewhere. Let me check. Do I have the file? What did I name it under? There it is. Oh, I got files everywhere. I just got to tap in. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just, good to keep an open mind. And I feel like compared to a lot of other channels that are out there, there may be channels that have more subs. There may be channels that have more people in the room. But I would put our knowledge of the game here in this room against any channel that's out there that covers sports and wrestling. So not every single person is going to be able to agree with every single person in the room. But I feel that a lot of the opinions, not necessarily just mine, if you're someone that does read a lot, watch a lot of film, and covers a lot of the players and understands what's going on, the opinions are not always going to be spot on to everyone, but I feel it's better to have more of an open mind here because a lot of the people in the room are very smart. It's not just me that's got the intelligence for baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wrestling. Everyone is going to be an expert at something. For me, I'm trying to be an expert on everything. It takes a lot of effort. But again, you have to be able to learn from others, that may know a little bit more than you to kind of get yourself up to speed on what's going on. So we will see, how it all pans out in free agency. But, if you end up, cashing in on a player like that, I don't think it would be the end of the world. It could actually possibly be a blessing in disguise. So we'll have to wait and find out. Reflect, what do you want to do for photos here? End of the second period. We're down 2-1. We need to find a way to bounce back, to hopefully go to overtime, tie it up 2-2, and then maybe win in overtime 3-2. It's going to be very, very difficult, but I think we can do it. One thing that we can agree on, Seattle has a lot of pieces that they need to fill. Again, with the Rams and the Niners built the way that they are, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. So, we may not all agree who would be a good fit or who wouldn't be a good fit, but one thing is for sure, hopefully that the draft, they can hit on the right pieces because they're going to need it with this new regime. Because it doesn't look like the Niners or Rams are going anywhere. Everyone will beat the shit out of the Cardinals, but you should. But now it's about, okay, instead of just beating the shit out of the Cardinals, now, finding a way to have that upper hand against the Rams and getting closer to the Niners level as soon as possible. Come on, Kraken. Caps on Thursday, Saturday, the Preds, Monday, Sabres, Golden Knights, ESPN. The following week, ooh. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health. It's very, very important. Check off all the boxes and do what you need to do to win the day. Let me know what other photos that you're wanting. Anything specific that you want reflect. You got a draft pick in the draft that you want to put up for Seattle? Something of that nature? The player that you were talking about earlier, do we want to throw him up? You let me know. I got to delete some of these other photos, make some room. Are we talking this Mims? Amarius? Now, offensive line is going to be very, very important. More important than any other position, honestly. You know, you got to be able to build that O-line and D-line, build from the inside out, not the outside in. You know, it's not going to be always about skill position players, but, you know, once they can get that O-line firmed up, you know, that'll, you know, equate to many, many more wins and a much better quarterback play because he'll have a lot more time to be able to go through the progression. So, plus we got a little time, you know, between now and the draft, so lots of other opportunities to, you know, watch film and go back and watch highlight packages and, you know, reading the articles and, you know, seeing what might be a good fit. All right, let's get into the third period. Let's go, Kraken. Do or die now. Let's find a way. Come on, baby. We have to be electric. Hopefully we can find a way to tie this up and go to OT. 22 shots on goal for both. Power plays, Golden Knights 1 for 2. Seattle Kraken 0 for 2. 19 hits for Vegas, 12 for Seattle. 15 blocks for Vegas, 8 for the Kraken. 17 faceoffs, 1 for the Vegas Golden Knights, 16 for the Kraken. So, I mean, we're right there, but the momentum has shifted to Vegas in that second period. Let's go. We got to bring an A-plus effort here. No, not my Funko, but I think Megan has that Funko. I don't collect Funkos. It's like probably the only toy that I don't collect, but I do think they're cool. It's just not necessarily my thing. I'm more like starting lineup McFarlane's, but Megan loves them and has a huge, huge collection, and I'm pretty sure she has that one. Or if she doesn't have that exact one, she's got many, many that are, you know, kind of similar to that one. Come on, baby. Turbo. We need you. Come on, Kraken. Oh, here we go. Here we go. One-on-one. Oh, spin move. Oh, good defense by Vegas. Golly. Nice save by Gru. Come on, Gru. Step up, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Turbo. All is a stud. There's quite a few, you know, really special offensive linemen in this draft that again, offensive linemen aren't sexy, but at the end of the day, if you get a skill position player and your offensive line is terrible, all those amazing players that you have will never hit their full potential because the quarterback will never get them the ball in time. You always want to make sure you have that good offensive line. You got a good offensive line, everything else will, flow naturally. And sometimes, it takes teams a while to realize that. It's not going to always be the sexy thing to do, especially when there's other positions that are a little bit more sexier at running back, wide receiver, tight end, and quarterback, instead of getting an offensive lineman that some people may have never heard of. But if that guy ends up turning into a Hall of Famer or Pro Bowl, All-Pro right out of the gates, that could equate to a few more wins than people anticipate right away. So offensive linemen are not a dime a dozen. They're very hard to come by, especially the really, really good ones. You're more likely to find a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end, that's serviceable than a really, really good offensive lineman. They're much less, on the O-line that are elite. And when they're elite, they're really elite. Especially if you can get a guy that can pull, like Jason Kelsey. I know he's enjoying retirement. Maddie! Yes! Yes! Nice job, Maddie. Hell yeah. Let's go. That's my dog. That's my guy. Maddie Benias tying it up. Let's go, Kraken. Snapshot assisted by Will Borgen and Tomas Tata with the sauce, baby. Woo! In between the legs. That was beautiful. Electric. Yes. Nice job. There we go. We're knotted up at 2. Yes. This gives us a shot. Yes, yes, yes. Maddie. It's been a minute since he's, had a game where we remember him producing. The last one that we remember is maybe Boston, where he had the 2 goals, where he was going back home to his hometown area team that was close by. And we ended up, beating Judah's team, which is not an easy feat to do, beating the Bruins. That was probably the last time Maddie had a game like that. And we still got 17 minutes left in this third period to see if he can score another goal and maybe be the hero for us tonight. There we go. I like this line too when we have like Maddie and Turbo and Tomas Tartar, with the Tata sauce. Sometimes you just got to find the right group of 4 or 5 guys that play well together, and then you can get a good run. And it doesn't necessarily have to be off a power play. It just having the right combination of guys that play well together. And I like that line that they had in there. Turbo for the intimidation in the defense, and then you got a few other guys that you can, get some production out of. And whether it's Maddie, Bjorky, McCann, you can get equal results out of all of them. It's just a matter of if they're going to be in with this particular line or not. I like it. 2-2, we're knotted up. 24 shots on goal for the Kraken, 23 for the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go. Come on, baby. Let's go. Come on, baby. We got to get Ebbs. We got to get a dub for him. 1,000th career game. Playing against the Vegas Golden Knights, a team that, even though they've struggled since December and they haven't been the same team as they were prior to December, still, this is a big, big deal. They're in that wild card spot that we want. It's not going to be easy. We're going to have to earn every single, minute of ice time to be able to beat this team, but we're right there with them right now. It can't get any more dead even than it is right now. 24 to 23 shots on goal. very, very even. The bigger advantage right now is going to be the big hits. Vegas is a little bit more aggressive. They got 6 more big hits on us, 19-13, and they taken over on the face-offs, which we need to make sure we improve on that here in the last 15 minutes. 56% to 43.6. Come on now. Oh, Yamamoto sighting. I haven't seen Kyler in a minute either. Let's go, Kyler. Kyler getting a goal would be great. Nice job, Maddie. We've been pretty hot as of late, since Grubauer came back. Joey had a couple games where he was a little iffy, but first part of the year, we were terrible. Gru went out, Decord went in, Winter Classic, shut out 3-0. We went on a nice little heater, and then since then, we've been pretty on. But again, also we've had an easier schedule than we had at the beginning of the year. We've had opportunities to beat up on teams that we should be able to win, and also possibly take advantage of teams that are a little bit roughed up at this point of the season, like Vegas. But again, with the depth that Vegas has, it's not like they're going to roll over and die. It takes everything that we have to be able to compete with a team like this. So hopefully we can keep it up here in the third period. Go, Maddie. $14:39 left in the third period. Can you be the hero? Possibly. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X. Appreciate you. Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Oh, Pierre! Let's go! Pierre-Edouard Bellemare! Let's go! Assisted by Tyler Yamamoto and Brandon Tanev. Turbo! Let's go, Pierre! Yes! Who wants it? We want it, baby! Nice job, Pierre. Way to step up, man. That's what I'm talking about. 3-2 Kraken. My boy. Way to be. Let's go. 3-2 Kraken. He's back, baby. We got to get this win for Ebb's 1,000th career game. I mean, like I said, little subtle, small things that actually are big things that, maybe some players or fans wouldn't think that it's not that big of a deal. But again, any little extra thing for motivation to get a win, like even someone 1,000th career game, it is a little extra motivation to get a dub for Jordan in his 1,000th career game. Much better to get a win than a loss, and to get a win against a rival like the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's go. Let's go. I like seeing Kyler and Brandon being involved with those assists as well. Everyone's getting involved, baby. Hell yeah. 3-2 Kraken. I like it. We have a chance. But again, we also have to respect Vegas. We know how quickly that they can score. Oh! Yanni, one-on-one opportunity there. Pass was a little deflected and missed. Oh, what could have been? It's like you want to take advantage of every one-on-one opportunity or two-on-one or two-on-two opportunity that you have that's not a power play. If you want to be able to try to take advantage, you're not going to have too many of those moments where you have a breakaway one-on-one, two-on-one, or two-on-two. Good defense there by Vegas. Yeah, Hacks 500. We got to get the Ebbs for 1,000. Yeah, I agree. Who's going to be the unsung hero here? Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Ooh, Jordan had a shot right there. Ebbs had a shot, but was deflected. Oh, man, the crowd would have gone fucking bananas if Jordan got a goal in his 1,000th game, and they would have just lost it. Hell, I would have lost it. Megan would have lost it. We all would have lost it. All right, here we go. Less than 12 minutes to go. 3-2 Kraken. I like it. I like it. Kraken crowd has not got a little juice now. You can feel it, especially with 2 goals in the third period. You know, a lot of times you pray for that to happen, but it just never comes. But it's really cool when it happens against an elite team and a team that's your rival. You know, it's like you hope and you wish and you pray you can come back and get 2 goals in the third. But, I mean, we've seen this story before, you know, where we were either blowing them out or they just beat the shit out of us. And to be able to respond when you're down 2-1 and to score 2 goals in the third and still, you know, have 11 minutes left, you know, to maybe add a little bit more fuel to the fire feels good. Well, it's intense, too. That's why I love this rivalry so much. It's like if we play Colorado or we play Vegas, they're gunning for us. We're gunning for them. We're not going to let you lay off at all, you know, and we're going to give 100% effort, and that's what you're going to get from the opposite team, too. So, like, if I end up going to a Kraken game, you know, for my first will probably be against Vegas or Colorado in the next couple years, you know, down the road when finances get better and I can end up going up to Seattle to watch a game. Less than 10 minutes to go. 10:34. Vegas a little stunned right now. You can tell there. Oh, there goes a stick. That was a big hit. Oh, Dumoulin wide left. And the funny thing is, in this little run that we're having, we're getting a lot of rebounds and we're getting second chance opportunities in the crease. Oh, another one. And a lot of times when you play Vegas, it's like you get one shot and then that's it. And then, you know, the defense played well and then you have to defend. But it kind of is nice, you know, while we're on the offensive and we're getting 2 to 3 shots at a time. I like that. It gives us a better chance to be able to, you know, keep it in the crease and give us a better chance to be able to get a nice extended goal on Adin Hill. Keeping the puck away from Drew as much as possible. Good save. Yeah, I'm not going to have any money anytime in the near future, but again, a guy can dream. But eventually I will make my way up there and go. And the only person I could think that I would end up going with is probably my buddy Justin, unless I had someone like you, Megan, if you ended up coming from out of Australia and whatnot, and you know, meeting up with any other Kraken fans to go up for the first game opportunity. Yeah, the more the merrier. Or just like if I go up to Seattle for a Mariner game or a Seahawk game, yeah, I'm always willing to meet up with the friends and the fans and the fam. The more the merrier. 26 shots on goal for the Kraken, 24 for Vegas. This one is coming down to the wire, baby. 8:41 left in the third period. Huge comeback for the Kraken, baby. Good save for Grew. Good save for Grew, baby. Three, 2, Kraken. Let's go, Kraken. We got to find a way. Damn, those uniforms are so fresh and so clean. Fresh. Great colors. Way to be, Pierre. You know, it's like when you got guys on the roster that you have no expectations whatsoever, and then they all of a sudden step up with this monster goal at the most crucial moment. Huge, man. Nice job, Pierre. And nice job by Maddie, too. We can't, act like that's not a big deal. Anytime Maddie scores, that's a great feeling. Uh, 3.5 hours for me here where I'm situated in Oregon. So, Nike headquarters isn't too far from me. And so, yeah, about 3.5 hours, 3 to 3.5. If you take the train, maybe 3 hours, 45 minutes, because they have a couple stops along the way. But it's a beautiful, train ride from Portland up to Seattle. I've done it a couple times with Justin. Pretty sweet, actually. But driving up, I don't have a problem with that either. So it kind of just depends if, we want to spend gas or if we just want to ride the train. So. Bjorky, baby! Are you kidding me? Let's go! Yeah, we're gonna win! Let's go! Oh my! Bjorky! Are you kidding me? Yes! Bjorky! Assisted by Eli Tolvanen and Yanni Gordon. What did I put up just a couple seconds ago? A little Yanni. Sometimes you just got to talk to the sports gods and let them know how good you look, and then you find a way to get the assist to your guy Bjorky, baby. 4-2 Kraken. Sometimes you just got to do it. I don't know. For me, it's like with the sports gods. Sometimes I'll just get a vision. Sometimes I'll get a message. Sometimes it'll just be something that I'm thinking, or I'll have a vision of a particular player that I should put up, because we didn't have any Yanni at all up to this point. But something told me, put Yanni up, and then there we go. He ends up getting a crucial piece of that assist with Tolvanen. Bjorky with the goal, 17th for the season, 4-2 Kraken. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get those likes up, and we'll see where we can get on with the donos as well. Let's go. Good day. My walk with Paisley tonight is going to be a good one, baby. And right back, they score. You William Karlsson, are you kidding me? Just when you think you're going to be comfortable with what's going on, they said, no. Hey, remember who we are. We're the Vegas Golden Knights. Don't celebrate too soon, Okay, I hear ya. Gosh, we can't even celebrate our goals for a long period of time. And then just like a blink of an eye, Karlsson. All right, William, I see you. I seen you do that last year quite a bit too. As long as we're on the offensive and we don't get passive, as long as we are aggressive, we might get another goal and we'll find a way to win this game. But if we're going to be playing on our heels, they'll tie it up and then win in overtime. And I don't want that, because that's the way that momentum works for this team. All right, William, I'll hook you up. We keep it 100 here, but that's it. No more. All right. I'll even hook you up with one more photo because I'm not a hater. All right. 4-3 Kraken. William Karlsson, assisted by Braden McNabb and Shea Theodore. 4-3 Seattle. What a good game. For a while, it looked like it was 0-0 after the first period, so it looked like it could be maybe a 2-1 game. And lo and behold, it's been a spree of goals here in the third period. 4 of them. I don't know if the last time I've seen 4 goals in the third period in any game I've seen, but here we are. 27 shots on goal for the Kraken, 27 for Vegas, and we are knotted up. No. 4-3 Kraken. 6 minutes to go. Let's go. Hang on, baby. Grew, good save. I mean, if Aiden Hill and Grew are going to be giving up goals back and forth, we just have to make sure we stay on the offensive. Kyler Yamamoto, are you next? Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X, as well as the people in the room. Love you. Appreciate you. Let's get to 15 on the likes, and if we can get to that number, which I think we need a couple more. If you haven't smashed the like button just yet, please do. And then if we can get to 15, let's get to 20. And then we're at 20 on the donos, 80 to go. Let's go, baby. 4-3 Kraken. The best throwback hockey jerseys of all time. Golly, beautiful. Mint chocolate chip, baby. '08 draft class, 5th in game, 2nd in goals, 7th in assists, 3rd in points among his teammates, or career ranks among the others that were drafted in 2008. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Obviously, based off the old school look of the team that had a different name at the time, back in the early 1900s. Six minutes and counting. Let's go, baby. Let's find a way to hang on. Let's go, baby. Metropolitans. Yeah. I love the logo. I love the colors. You know, I love the jerseys. Everything is just so beautiful. Home, away, Winter Classic jersey, alternate. Everything is just beautiful. Come on, Kraken. Stay strong. Hopefully this doesn't go to overtime. How many more days until baseball, Reflect? How many more days until the Mariners are on? I'm definitely itching for that too. But definitely excited about the Mariners, and excited to be able to see Mookie, Freddie, and Ohtani do their thing, as well as many of your favorite players on your favorite teams that are in the room as well. Come on now, less than 5 minutes to go. $19.15. Come on, Burakovsky. All right, we got to figure out this last line change here for those last 4 minutes. Come on, baby. Well, this one definitely lived up to the billing. I mean, I still would have been happy with a 2-1 game with less goals given up by Aiden Hill and Philip Grubauer. That would have made me feel a little bit better. But when you end up having two quality teams that go against each other that are rivals, and you end up feeling it, and you end up getting a few cheap goals or, really good shot, time shots, you're going to take it. So not every matchup is going to be a 1-0 game or a 2-1. And, sometimes you're not happy with giving up 3 or 4 goals, but if you end up winning 4-3 or 5-4 at the end of the day, you'll take it. It just hurts when you end up giving up that many and you lose by 1. So you just showed the keyboard organ player rocking the Winter Classic jersey. All right, Blue Jay, take it easy, bud. Talk to you soon, bro. I mean, at this point, if Vegas ends up winning, it'll be in overtime. I don't know if they would be able to put up 2 goals in the last 4 minutes. It wouldn't shock me, but based off the flow of the game, it would be highly unlikely, but not impossible. So I'm hoping that we can find a way to hang on, but we'll see. It feels like the Kraken are going to get this for Ebbs in his 1,000th career game. And Vegas, if you go and look, they were very, very good prior to December, but they have fallen off considerably since December. They're still a great team, but their record hasn't been as good since December. They've been kind of hovering around a 500 record since then. So, the Kraken are, light years away from being a wild card team. They're in the, Vegas is in the position Seattle wants to be in. But again, we can still play up to the competition, and we're doing a hell of a job so far tonight. But again, if Vegas does win this game, I think it would be in overtime, not in regulation, just based on the flow of the game, on how it's been going so far. Because if it gets tied up 4-4, then we go to overtime, that's when Vegas is going to win. Or if we have to get to a shootout, we possibly could lose that. We're not very good in overtime. We're not very good at shootout wins. So usually if it goes to overtime, it's not really a good look. So hopefully we can just end this in regulation, or we can end up getting another goal, and then there's no ifs, ands, or buts at that point. If we're up 5-3 with a minute 40 to go, we're going to get the dub. So we'll find out. We'll find out. Last 3 minutes to go. We have to see when Aiden Hill gets pulled here, so we might be able to get a cheap goal and win 5-3 once they pull him here within the next minute 30. And we'll see if that ends up being true or not. Oh, March Assault. Ooh, that was close. Megan, did you end up seeing that one game? I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but it was 4-on-4, and then they pulled the goalie unexpectedly, and then they ended up winning, even though they pulled the goalie when it was both even on 4-on-4. That's pretty risky. 4-on-4, end of the game is tied. You pull your goalie when you don't even need to, and then you end up finding a way to have the advantage and win. I'm trying to remember what teams they were, because I remember I just scrolled across my timeline, but I want to say one of the teams was the Dallas Stars, but I don't know if that was correct. Super ballsy, but I was like, wow, I can't believe they did that, but it worked. I was like, I wonder if Seattle will try that strategy at some point in the season. But pretty rare when you see it being a penalty for both teams. You know, it's a close game, it's tied, it's 4-on-4 instead of a typical 5-on-5, and then all of a sudden you pull a goalie. Like, okay, I mean, if you're going to do that, you better score and win, and that's exactly what they did. But obviously, we've seen that scenario happen where it's been 4-on-4 or something like that, or a 4-on-3. You pull the goalie and then you lose. But I was impressed. I saw it. I was like, oh wow. But I can't remember who played, what the teams were, but you might remember, because I only saw it briefly. I watched the highlight 2 times and then I moved on. So 30 shots on goal for Vegas, 28 for the Kraken. It's been a hell of a matchup here tonight. Ebb's 1,000th career game for the Seattle Kraken. So we're trying to end up getting this dub for him. $1.50 to go. Come on, Turbo. Good steal with the pressure on. I'm impressed. I mean, I don't like giving up this many goals, but again, when you end up, having a game that ends up being 4-3 or higher, it is what it is. 4-3, 5-4, 6-5, 7-6. It's not pretty, but at the end of the day, you want your goalie to be better. But again, as long as you get the dub, that's all that matters at the end of the day when both teams are scoring a shitload of goals. You just want to find a way. Empty net! Oh! Come on. All right, here we go. Let's find a way to get a cheap one here, and let's win 5-3. No icing. We flipped that puck towards that empty net, but we were just wide right twice. Uh-oh. Good steal. Oh! Wide right. Captain Jack Eichel, you got to watch out. Get it out of there. 20 seconds to go. Feels like we got this. I don't think we're going to give up a goal here late. We got this. We're going to win in regulation 4-3. Oh! You got to be kidding me. And there you go. Exactly what I don't want to happen happens. How are you going to give up a goal with 16 seconds left, Gru? Damn. Now if it goes to overtime, we're fucked. And we're not going to score in 16 seconds. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. And Gru was he just wasn't paying attention. He's, his momentum is carrying his body way too much to that left-hand side. What a brain fart. Jonathan Marchessault being Jonathan Marchessault, one of the best in the NHL. 37th goal of the season with a snapshot. Chandler Stevenson and Jack Eichel with the assist. If I had hair, it would already be pulled out. Fuck. Wow, that's huge. Well, I don't think I was getting cocky. I thought that they weren't going to score in 16 seconds. I mean, regardless of what team it is, it just felt like we were going to end up winning. You can never count Vegas out, but it just felt like we were going to be able to hang on for 16 seconds. I don't think that's that crazy to think, based off the flow of the game. He already gave up 3. What are the chances of him giving up 4, with 16 seconds left? You can't play defense for 16 seconds to get Ebb's 1,000th career game? Fuck. But there it is. I jinxed it. I must have. Well, now we go to overtime, and hopefully the Kraken can find a way. We are not very good in overtime, but again, we have a hell of a game, and we're knotted up at 4. It definitely lived up to the billing. I mean, in most situations, regardless if it's the Kraken, the Avalanche, the Golden Knights, 16 seconds, you're normally going to be able to hang on. If you're up 4-3, I would say there's probably like a 5% chance for a team to score with 16 seconds left, and I guess that 5% was right fucking there. But it is what it is, and hopefully we can find a way to mentally rebound from that. That was tough. Not what I wanted to see at all. But it's not like that's like a high scoring percentage time, for a goal to be scored. When you have, 16 seconds left, there's not usually that many opportunities. And if you do get a shot on goal, you're normally not going to get a goal that late with 16 seconds left. But I guess if you're Vegas, anything is possible. Damn it. I jinxed it, damn it. Thought we had that victory. But apparently not. But we'll still give love to the Vegas Golden Knights. And hopefully the sports gods will be in our favor tonight. And we'll find a way to win this 5-4. Shit, even my logo didn't like it. Turned on the white background behind it. Was not happy with that. All right, Vegas. We just got to make sure Marchessault doesn't get a fucking hat trick to win the game. He's got 2 goals already. Feels like he could get a third. Find a way. Step up, baby. Please. All right, we're in overtime. Let's go. Who's going to be the hero tonight? I wonder if we'll have Decord in net on Thursday against the Caps after Gru has given up 4 goals tonight. I think it would be a good time to throw Joey back in net on Thursday and see what he can do. And it's against the Caps, so it's a winnable game. I mean, as long as Ovechkin doesn't go crazy, we should be able to win that game, or at least be competitive. Good save by Gru. Nice job. Nice save. Captain Jack Eichel a little frustrated there. Come on, baby. Let's go, Phillip. Oh. Please, please, please. Come on, Kraken. Oh, no. I hate seeing... Oh, no. Why did they show that? Captain Jack Eichel, career 199 goals, so the next one he gets is 200. Why did they have to show that graphic? So now what? Captain Jack Eichel is going to get the goal, and they're going to win, and he's going to get his 200th? Don't show me that kind of graphic. Damn it. You know that's how shit works, too, in sports. They either jinx it, which I apparently did, but we still might be able to win in overtime. But we're not very good in overtime or in the shootout, so I'm a little nervous here. It's like when I watched the Mariners go in extra innings. A couple years ago in Julio's rookie year, we were damn good in one-run games, but last year we were terrible. So please, sports gods, help us get the dub. And it is 4-4, not 4-3. I guess ESPN's ticker guy must have went to the bathroom again. Fuck, I am nervous here. This is must win for us. We need this type of victory. 2 minutes gone in overtime. There it is. There's the score update. Billy Bob just got off the shitter and pushed the number 4 button. Thanks, Billy Bob. Man, they just really don't care at ESPN anymore, do they? Come on, Burakovsky. Yorkie. Oh! Oh! Aiden Hill with a save. Aiden Hill is... Oh, no. Oh, hit the goalpost. Thank God. Go, Kraken, go. 2-on-1. Oh, my God. Eichel. And there it is. There it is. They brought up the graphic. Captain Jack Eichel, 199 goals. I said it out loud. Boom. We lost 5-4 in overtime. Unbelievable. Sports gods, I get it. You like to tease me here and there. You know what I mean? And sometimes we're going to be able to get dubs, and sometimes we're going to have heartbreaking losses, but not like this. I already knew in overtime we were screwed if it got here, but this was our game. We could have won this game. And of course, it's Captain Jack Eichel. Because anytime I see something weird like that, 199 career goals, and now we're going to overtime. Of course, he was going to be the one that was going to be the hero after you flash the graphic. Wow. Great win for Vegas. There's nothing you can say. You know, if our goaltending was better, or maybe Joey Decord was in net, maybe the difference, could have been that. But you have to give Vegas credit. And again, anytime, Captain Jack Eichel is, kind of quiet, at some point, being their leader, and he will spark, some type of greatness. And of course, they had to show that graphic of 199 goals. And then, of course, he's the hero. Final in overtime, Vegas Golden Knights 5, Seattle Kraken 4. What a fantastic win for them. And what a heartbreaking loss for the Kraken. So, we'll end up doing tomorrow the Caps and the Oilers. That'll be at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Connor McDavid going against Ovechkin. So we'll end up doing that. And then on Thursday, we'll do another late stream, Caps and Kraken. And then hopefully we can end up winning that one. But shout out to the Vegas Golden Knights. It ends up being the number one rivalry with us besides Colorado and maybe Calgary with their dirty play. But that one hurt. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I appreciate all the people that donated, commented, shared. Shout out to Reflect as well as Megan. Love you guys and I appreciate you guys. Shout out to Matt and Sarah. And I will be back again tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific for the Edmonton Oilers as well as the Washington Capitals. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Shout out to all the people watching on Twitter/X as well as the people in the room. And I am out. Gang.